welcome back, everyone. I want to do an update just because I'm seeing a lot of the comments around the 18 cent because we did get rejected again, and I see a lot of people saying that we can't break 18 cent, and because this was our technically like our second test, and the candle actually closed. We actually closed at our highest point. This candle closing at roughly around a little over 18 cent. This is our closure at our highest point in over 2 years. So I know like the sentiment is like, oh, well, we should have, why is the candle red and stuff like that? It closed above 18, first of all. So, and second of all, this is, and really for me, that's really just a signal as far as the strength of this move and where we're headed. But I want to give you a couple scenarios about what's to happen next before we have that ascend. But I wanted to address the 18 mark and the panic that I'm seeing that, oh, well, it's not breaking above 18. So when you have retest and you have major um, levels, pivot points prior to like a breakout or a run, the next leg, whatever you want to call it, typically there is some back and forth motion. That you can call it ping pong, tennis. That's typically it's going to be some pushback before you break into that level. If it was easy, it wouldn't be a pivot point, right? It would be something that would go through. And the higher you go, typically, especially this early on in the market, the higher you go, especially since we're moving so fast and so aggressively and so early in the cycle. Because technically speaking, if we're comparing Doge and Bitcoin to previous cycles, Doge should technically still be at 6 cent right now. It's running really early. Bitcoin is running really early prior to the halving. Like everything is taking off really quickly. That's why I'm really confident that we're going to see some very interesting all-time highs this season. But when we talk about these levels, there is typically some pushback. I'm going to show you this in a couple different examples. So if we go back here for Doge, and this is when we were technically coming out around that 8 cent mark, you'll see several rejections here around the 8 cent mark, as far as where we actually close or we go down. That's 785. We needed to break 8. We had several rejections, and then even when we did break it, we went up to around 870 and then had a retracement to grab some additional liquidity, and then we ran. And then we ran, and then we had a consolidation. We never gave up those gains. And then we pretty much grabbed some liquidity, had some retest here. It took 4 tries to break above 10 cent. So, and this is one thing I just want to point out to the Doge community, don't have short-term memory. Right? Remember how many tries it took to break 10 cent. And yes, I know it blew through 12 cent. Those are a little harder to predict because technically we were supposed to have some pushback at 12 cent. We blew through it, no problem. It happens. But what happened at 10 cent is absolutely normal. It took us 4 tries to break above 10 cent, and then we did. And that's not exclusive to Doge. I want to show you another example here. And if we want to take a look here above, I'll say, if we want to zoom in here, probably at around the 38,000 mark for Bitcoin. We had literally, I'll say about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, almost a month of Bitcoin trying to get above 38,000 to pretty much break into that 40,000 range. I counted earlier, and it was around 8 tries, 8 rejections, very minimal price action to break above 38,000 to get to 40. So it happens. Sometimes these levels are a little, sometimes like the 12 cent per Doge, sometimes it's easy, you just blow through it, and sometimes they're tough. And all coins have those levels. And so I just wanted to show you that if this can be in the king of crypto for Bitcoin, it's certainly going to be those areas for Doge. So it's not abnormal to have those levels that are a little tougher. And this is nothing. Don't let 18 cent and everything try and like scare you. It's really nothing, because we'll see much tougher levels going forward. It's not, like we have like 25 cent, we have 30 cent. You'll see it'll be much tougher levels here. Shorts are down. It's looking like shorts may actually close down for the third day in a row. We are touching, this should be around a 6-month low, 6 month to a 1 year low for shorts overall. We're below everything, well below the 14-day, below the 72, below the 200. They are just not interested in shorting Doge right now. And that's one of the things that lets me know as well. If you follow my videos, last few videos, I said, when there's an opportunity that they actually believe the price is going to go down, the shorts are going to be one of the tells that they believe that you're going to have an opportunity here to kind of tank or get a solid retracement and get some better prices. But when the shorts aren't confident, that lets me know that the movement is still very much strong. We're going to take a look here, and I'm going to give a probability of what the next trend is going to look like for Doge. Because I think that if we continue to look at the trends here, we'll get a better idea of where we are. So we were talking about like the 15-cent level, and this was, and still is technically, our support level. And I think that what we're going to see here, since we had the invalidated double top, I actually think that we're doing the old George W, and we may actually put ourselves in a position to do a double bottom. And what that looks like is something like this. It comes down, retouches, and then like that. And that is really really just a great long-term thing, because what happens is, still drawing. What happens is we're talking about building up that support level right around the 18-cent, and the higher it is, the better, obviously, because that, it's just a very strong point, just in case we're having trouble with the early 20s. And if we have a few touches off of this area, and it's not saying that it's going to go that low, but it just means that if we could close down today or around 16 cent the next day and then go up, it doesn't necessarily have to come down this low and touch it. But what happens is that's building up that support level. So another thing is, it pretty much can move up. So if it's around the 18-cent mark now, then of course this turns into let's say we're put this here. So let's say, for example, we are at 25 cent or 28 cents, somewhere in that range there. And now we have to kind of repeat this process. We've now established this floor here, as this floor here is now going to be support for the next movement. And so we're technically still getting that sideways action, because remember, we're saying that this is great as far as building out this sideways action. And it looks like that's exactly what's happening. We're still building it out at around 18 cent, and we're not like breaking momentum. We're not breaking trend. The shorts aren't coming in. Those are all things that I would use to kind of say, okay, well, we possibly need to go lower to grab some liquidity. And none of those things are happening. I just think this is just one of those tougher levels to break through. And we will grab the liquidity, because even with the candles here, anyway, we don't have a volume issue. This is not a volume issue here. It's not necessarily a short issue as well. We're just seeing, I believe we're seeing some swapping going on with some whales, to be completely honest with you, because I don't think retail is selling. I know it's not short pressure. I believe that it's some swapping going on here just to see the strength of the overall movement, see if they can kind of get like a pattern to have it to go down. Because I think that when we see the opportunity for the coin to go down, what happens here? These wicks are very strong to the downside. Even here on our biggest red day so far, look how long this wick is. Like, so it's the sentiment to try and get it to go down, but when it does, there's massive buying action, and then it gets bought up, and it just kind of corrects itself, or just resumes a very close to position that it had when it opened. So I don't believe that this is going to continue, because the trend isn't weak. I'll show you a weak trend, just in case this is the first video of mine you've seen. When you start getting candles like this is a weak trend. The trend is weakening. You'll need to grab some liquidity here, and you see this wick here. that was a big push down. And you can always kind of tell when that's coming when you start getting these smaller candles like this. This is what you would call low volume. And you'll see that big push down here. Now, the push down got purchased up. So that's why the wick is here. And it actually ended up closing a little higher. But you can always tell when this is coming and when the trend is weakening. So what you would do now is look for a continuance of these smaller candles, and then you will get your breakdown typically within a week. Even if they're being stubborn, or if you have a big whale coming in, you will get a consolidation point, or at least some sideways action here, because the trend and the volume is so low. So we don't have that issue. I just want to show you what it looked like. We don't have that issue with Doge. So that's why I think that we may have another small dip, but I don't think we haven't done any of the major things to cause a major retracement just yet. If we do, then I will certainly let you guys know. But as of right now, this is just a matter of retesting 18 until we break through, like we've done with the 10-cent mark. It took 4 times, like BTC did with 38K. I don't think it's going to take us 8 times, like in Bitcoin's example, but I do believe that it may take us a few more retests with 18 cents. So we will keep track of this, and if anything changes, if I see something going on with the candles, obviously I'll let you guys know in the next update. So if you found value in this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend, and we will try and, I'll say this, we're not going to try. We're going to hit 100,000 subscribers this year. So if you have not subscribed yet, just check to make sure. Maybe you haven't, just make sure you are, and I will greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.
Try.